So you voted and you decided that I should probably make a video about INTPs and loneliness. Um, by the way, this video is probably going to be a little bit worse than the others. Not that the others are good, they suck, but um, it's like 40 degrees outside and I'm sick. And I hope that you don't hear the sound of the fan, but even in low, I think it's pretty um, loud. Either ways, I'm going to try to divide the video in three. That is, um, that we like to be lonely and our interests versus people. The paradox of us not really wanting to talk, or at least me, to talk to others, but at the same time, I would like to have an interesting conversation. Um, and finally, actual loneliness. That is going to be, I think, in the end of the video. So starting with interests versus people. I don't feel lonely, like, ever, I think. Very... I don't really think that I felt lonely in months, I think, maybe years. I don't really remember when was the last time that I felt alone. Because I think it has to do with, at least in my case, um, I think I'm extremely independent in the sense that I don't really need people, um, either physically or to make me happy psychologically. Um, I have a bunch of interests that occupy my day and that make me have to think about everything but people. So I don't really feel lonely. Almost never. I think I don't really remember the last time I felt lonely. So I think INTPs in general probably have this kind of, not a paradox, but this struggle between people versus the interests that they have. And like I said, because I think INTPs are curious by default, as probably all humans are we probably focus our time more on developing our interests, being them studying physics or studying biology or listening to debates or listening to music. And we occupy our time, or at least I do, doing everything but being worried about people. Um, my interests kind of are superior to people in a way. I think that takes me to the next point, that is the paradox of trying to, or of sometimes wanting to talk to people, but at the same time knowing that most of them are probably not going to have anything interesting to say. And this is again why I probably prefer to study my interests and to do what I want than being with people most of the times, because in my honest opinion most people are just boring. They have no particular interest whatsoever in nearly absolutely nothing. um, even in university, like, I don't really like going to parties and I usually don't. um, and I get kind of the idea that's all what people in university do, which is fine. I mean, they can do whatever they want, but when the conversations kind of boil down to just how drunk you were last night and how interesting it was being in someone else's party that you really don't know anything about, like, sure, do whatever you want, it's your life, and I hope you have fun with that, but it's not my thing. It's not what I like to talk about. So it's kind of boring to me. And when you try, it has happened before in university, um, that I was having a conversation about philosophy, I guess, with a friend, and we were discussing afterlife, and we were discussing the idea of heaven and hell and all of that, and some person passed, and they were like, "Why are you talking about that?" And that's so uninteresting, and I was like, what? Like, I didn't say it, but I thought to myself, like, how boring do you need to be to not have an interest on what may happen or not to you? And just to think in an abstract way about ideas. I think it's very interesting to talk and to debate ideas and to listen to other people's ideas. And I don't think that most people my age actually like that or enjoy that. So it's kind of difficult to find someone that likes to talk about anything besides parties and being drunk and beer and all of that shit. Um, and again, do whatever you want with your life. Like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I honestly hope that you are having fun with that, because I don't have fun with those kind of topics. I don't find them interesting. And now, actual loneliness. That was probably the point of this video. Of course, everyone has felt lonely, even I have. Like, but what do I do when I'm lonely? That just happens, I think, in a more depressive episodes that I have, or that other people have, or at least that I have, that happen not very frequently, but yeah, that's when I think I feel lonely, and I just do pretty much what I normally do when I'm not feeling lonely, that is. I don't know. I study my stuff, I watch debates. If I'm bored, I watch a series of some stuff. I study my interests. I go out just to, I don't know, like, eat something or have a beer or whatever with a friend. And then I come back home and do the same thing. Like, that's pretty much how I like to do my stuff. I do what I want, and when I'm bored, I have someone that can spend like an hour or two with me, just having a casual conversation about university or about any topic whatsoever that they want to talk about, and having a beer. Like, it's summer now and it's really really hot, so you see everyone, especially in Coimbra, the city that I'm in now, just having outside, having a beer. And it's really cool, actually, to be when you are feeling like more lonely, or to go outside with someone to have a conversation about anything that you want. And then when you are bored, you get back home and you do what you want again. So that's pretty much how I deal with loneliness. It's like I focus on my stuff, and when I'm bored of my stuff or when I need a break, I go outside. I think that's a good way to deal with loneliness. That is, not to stay at home when when you are lonely, because that's just going to aggravate the situation. Like, go outside, even if you don't have anyone to go outside with. Go outside, like, just to catch sun. It's good for you. It's going to make you feel happier. So I think that's it. Like, I think it's interesting that there's a certain paradox, I think, between wanting to stay at home or doing whatever we want, and the necessity of sometimes going outside. And I also like that there is this dispute between interests and people that I have, on which my interests come first and people come after my interests are either explored or when I'm bored of them. So I think that's how I'll deal with loneliness. I just do whatever I want, and when I'm bored, I go outside and do something else. So I think that's it.